Are here. That is right. We have made it here to what is the finals of our Deadeye Better League Season 2. Of course, Sync Esports going to be taking on Fresh here in this best of 3 series. So looking forward to what should be, no doubt, a really good series here coming at us. Obviously, we are here after a postponement of this match. Supposed to happen last weekend, in fact, because of the patch. A couple of bugs within it, unfortunately. Those had to get figured out first and fixed before the match was able to get played. But point is, we are here now. And today, what initially was the plan, but hey, we got some on now today, and that's a good way to look at it here. So, again, a good matchup, no doubt. These two teams going at it. You take a look at the brackets right here, obviously, and how they got here. Of course, Sync, they ultimately got that first-place seed from the group stages. They then went on to beat Complexity and then get to this spot. Fresh got the second seed. They had to defeat Wapdash, which actually ended up being a 3-game series there, but in the end, they were able to move on, and thus they are here. So, obviously, this was after all those group stage matches. It took a month and a half there. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of content here from this tournament, but it finally will be coming to a conclusion here today, as once again, these two teams in Sync and Fresh going at it. So, again, looking forward to seeing this fun matchup here. I'm Breaky CBK, of course. I'm joined by my co-caster today. And actually, I'm going to be joined by Near once again. Near, how's it going, man? It's been a while.
It's going great. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm looking forward for these couple of games here. It's interesting. And yeah, Parallax ban here in the first round of the bans. And yeah, a lot of picks coming here. So
Already some fun stuff to talk about, and actually that's a great point you bring up there, because these are always especially fun. It just so happens that, of course, this is a great matchup, the finals and everything, but it's also after a fairly significant patch. I mean, it's not the biggest balance patch we've had ever, but there's some good changes in it, obviously, as far as heroes go, and even some item changes. So it's kind of interesting to see how those changes have impact within these games here shortly after. Let's talk about this whole draft so far, then we can maybe look more at that. But you already mentioned the Parallax, man. That in itself is interesting. Magma's Deadlift, Midas, Parallax, that banned by Zlap there. We had Parasite into Warbeast, Pebbles into a Luna, and then Monarch coming out into Ophelia. So plenty to talk about, but what are you looking at here, Near, so far?
I'm looking a lot on the Parallax ban. It's one of these question mark heroes, honestly, in my book, because it has a lot of burst and huge AoE teamfight damage on top of the Ionic Dash, which can be a huge nuisance for spellcasters. And I know Slaska plays a really good Parallax, and I think it's one of those heroes we might see more of in the coming weeks or even months. I just have this feeling. It's not that I have a whole strategy or not a knowledge on it, but I feel like someone's going to figure something out about the hero and start working with it and pick it and play it.
Well, obviously something's been going on. Zlap wouldn't just blindly pan that by any means. So, yeah, clearly there's some insight there somewhere. But it's interesting because usually, maybe we expect like some big buffs to a hero. That's why he did get a buff, but it doesn't seem like that significant. Just this Fulcrum shift getting slightly increased with damage, basically. So, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting though to see that. And you mentioned Slaska though. He apparently plays a great one. So yeah, that's gonna be curious to see how that maybe makes appearances here.
Yeah, for sure. And there's nothing standing out too much. Warbeast is again here in this draft at least a top 1 to pick, or top 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Top 1 for Sync here, and still a very strong hero. I don't see why it shouldn't be picked up. And Monarch also one of the strongest supports with a Luna. A Luna got a couple buffs to the power throw that deals a lot of damage now early on. I mean, 160 level 1, I think that might be honestly top spell or top damage for level 1 spell. Don't quote me on that, but it's got to be up there.
It's got to be up there, no doubt. I mean, that kind of came out of nowhere, I feel like. I honestly wasn't expecting a Luna buff. Yeah, I don't know if many people were, but saw that, and yeah, that's, as you pointed out, that's got to be one of the highest damage abilities at level 1 especially. I mean, it already was. It got slightly increased, so... yeah, understandable. But even on top of that, man, Ophelia, another hero that got buffed actually a fair amount across the board. And, again, I understand it a little bit more because in the TMM scene, maybe not as strong, and, they got to bounce around that too. But, boy, did that have a huge impact on players like Zlap, of course, who probably loves those changes there.
It's very strong. It's going to be a bit interesting to see if he's stuck in his way with the W. I think the optimal build right now has to be EQ, W, EE. Then you have 2 creeps level 5, of course. But you got to skill that Q. 15% level 1 is a one-hit wonder ability.
Yeah. I agree with you there. Actually, we cast a third-place match. It was Complexity versus Wapdash there. I think it was on Thursday. And, yeah, we actually got to see a little bit of that. I was talking about that, actually. Yeah, the idea that, exactly, it really is a one-point wonder now, that Nature's Wrath. That you have to get 1 point in it, it feels like. So we'll see if Slapped is kind of willing to change that, or if he's, as you put, a stick in his ways here. Yeah, after these changes. But the draft continues. We got Behemoth now even coming out for Mint after the second-tier bans and then into that Kraken so far. But, oh, there's Madman is how Mint's going to finish. Interesting. So they're going to go the Madman carry.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Maybe, yeah. I know Provosk also plays the Pebbles, so
True.
maybe he's going to play that, and then they kind of put Madman in a lane where he can survive and still get some gold, and then hopefully transition when it comes to the late game, but not have the free farm as it starts. There are two options for them, for sure. Also pretty good for them that they got Behemoth as a fourth pick. Sometimes the hero doesn't even make it that far through the ban pick phase, but they got it here. And at the same time, they have a lot of split push on Hillborn side, so if this gets to the mid game and if the game is kind of even, then the Legion is gonna get out farmed by the Hillborn side for sure, because Ophelia's gonna farm a lot and Puppet as well with the Shroud, or be scouting with Wolves on top of this push that he provides. So it's gonna open up the map for Kraken to make some plays and some pickoffs, and they're in a bit of trouble. Honestly, I feel like in terms of map control, but we'll see how the early game goes if they can make something happen and swings it in their favor.
It is going to be Provosk with Pebbles, so you're right there to definitely bring that up. And sure enough, he's playing a different guy, the one playing the Madman instead. So, yeah, a little bit of a change up there. But as you pointed out, yeah, Provosk, we've seen him in that short lane Pebbles plenty. And actually, though, yeah, are we going to see some kind of mana possibly? Would that be something maybe like the Pebbles Monarch Parasite, perhaps? But the strongest.
I guess you could, but the problem with Pebbles is that he has a long cooldown on his spells, and they cost a lot of mana. It's so hard for him to cast multiple spells, and I guess Monarch can't have that effect. She can do it, definitely, but they don't do that much damage. It's more of a little bit of a lockdown here, so I don't think they're going to do it. I think it's going to be the Madman top, or no, it's probably going to be Behemoth top. Madman is going to be mid, getting what he can with the stock and the bottle, probably, and then free farm on the Pebbles. We saw them do this before against, I think it was Wapdash earlier, where they went Alchemist Bones on Pebbles, and then he still farmed the 11-12 minute portal key. At the same time, I would say Sync actually has the potential to man up if they want, but I don't see why they should. Warbeast solo bottom is the strong hero, so I don't see why they should mess with that. He's going to get a lot and give Puppet free farm on top of a good mid lane for Kraken should be the way to go.
Yeah. Obviously, Zibe has plenty of that experience in that long lane Warbeast, so definitely wouldn't be surprised to see that here. So looks like a couple restarts here before we get into what is game number one, of course. So again, this is the only matchup here today. This obviously being a great one, the finals after all. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, the third place match was played on Thursday there between Complexity and Wapdash, and Complexity did take that series 2-0. So again, we're going to be wrapping up here with the Deadeye Bounty League playoffs, and then of course that means next weekend is finally the wild card event, as it's kind of being labeled, but also another way to put it is of course the playoffs of Han Tour Season 4. It's going to be kicking off next weekend, and that is what I'm really excited for, and a lot of people, both players and viewers alike. So that's going to be a good event there to see how that kind of all plays out. Of course, Sync will be on standby and kind of just getting to watch, which must be nice. So
yeah, they can take some notes and try and get some scrims in when they want to and feel like it, and hopefully not lose too much of
Gotta ask, Near. I mean, what's the deal with the Evil Corporation? Are you guys good, or what's going on lately?
We're fine. We're fine.
Okay, good.
We're playing for sure. And we haven't played that much here in scrimming, but hopefully we can pick it up here in the next week. We tried to find a lot of scrims last week, but or this week it is actually, but didn't find as many as we would like. But we're trying to get back into our old groove at least.
Good.
Hopefully it's gonna be good enough.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Obviously, that was a little bit of a surprise there, but it makes it just having to use ringers constantly throughout this event and everything with not qualifying over the top 6. But if you guys are back, good to go, then no doubt still one of the favorites.
We're focused for the playoffs. Totally. I mean, everyone wants to go. So
absolutely.
We have that the motives. So
well, it's going to be fun. Again, kicking off next weekend, guys. So But we got these finals here to cast first, which, again, no complaints here. All right, so kicking it off now. We got, again, the idea of maybe some kind of aggressive doesn't seem like that's going to be happening, though. Pebbles is headed towards bottom, and so you're talking about really doesn't make sense for Sync either. So going to be pretty standard as far as the lanes go coming out here. Yeah, I am curious, talking about how, I think, yeah, 2 was against Wapdash there, but whatever it was where Pebbles did get those early Alchemist bones and then into the Portal Key shortly after. So it does seem like a pro-Busk thing to do, especially on top of that, really make sure he's got that farm taken care of. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that once again right here. So speaking of Outbones, Hellborn team might not, or might be getting one too, you figure, with Parasite here, but who is the question?
Knowing Sippa, he might do it actually,
True.
depending on his start. He's usually picking up these kind of weird items, tablets whenever he can, or even Alchemist bones. So maybe he's gonna do it. We'll have to wait and see. Behemoth did put his Ward of Sight up here in range where we'll feed his bot a bit, so it's gonna be interesting to see if he wants to devoid it. But I'm pretty sure Slaps should be able to have seen this. Apparently not, maybe.
No, he's got that Rev Ward, so he definitely has the ability to take care of it. He's it's almost like he wants to, but then he goes back, so never mind.
He must not have seen Behemoth, I guess. I just thought it with the fog. Yeah, I thought that he would be able to see him. He was standing on top of the hill when Behemoth placed it, but apparently not. So.
Well, he'll start his jungling ways now as, okay, it is going to be a Luna middle with the Puppet Master, so a little bit different here, I guess, from Sync than maybe expected. It's Kraken top, but why do you think they're doing this?
I think it's because Behemoth is such a weak laner that you can almost anyone beats him. And then there's no reason for Luna to be there as well when you're already winning the lane. So instead he's going to try and shut down the mid lane completely, which he can definitely do as a ranged hero against the Madman. Madman's actually running top now. I like this rotation. I think that's pretty good. If you can get the top lane versus the Kraken, then have the Behemoth fishing waves in the mid lane.
I want to go back to that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I'll just say that it's a good rotation for Madman. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's made his way up here, and now Behemoth is going to waddle over towards middle. But, I mean, that kind of leads into what I was just going to bring up there with, like, that statement that you made right there. Pretty much anyone beats Behemoth. It's fun. It's hilarious to me that a hero could be so picked and so popular, yet so weak in the laning phase, especially when he's solo most of the time. But, again, that kind of obviously his impact once he gets that item, especially the Portal Key, is what really makes him that hero. So, but, yeah, his laning phase is no doubt that weak point right here.
Sure.
So, he'll end up mid. Gonna get some levels now.
Good rotation. Same time better for Madman, getting up to 4 last hits. Of course, Kraken is going to be slightly ahead of him, but it shouldn't matter too much. He should still be able to get some creeps and hopefully a bottle here.
Would it make any sense for Sync to rotate as well, or is it just the case of, I mean, we're comfortable with where we're at? No reason to overthink it.
I think Luna could rotate top and start taking the pull. That way they can maximize their resource or their resources a little bit more, because Puppet is going to do just fine and Behemoth is not going to walk up anyways. So that's something they could do to get a little bit more golden experience on their support. But it's also fine if he stays, because Behemoth is just going to set up top here on this top hill. Actually blocking 2 creeps.
That's clever. Okay.
It works. The 2 archers, so that's kind of negating it.
Yeah. Well, the idea was there, but yeah, unfortunately, not working out. I was playing maybe, but health bar, the mana push getting taken off somewhat there. You see right there, actually, even using the fissure to get a couple last hits. So again, use those abilities. It's not like he's getting any kills anytime soon, so might as well get a little bit of farm here out of it. Warby's bottom lane. You see Monarch is trying to deal with these wolves, but oh man, she gets them both so low, but she actually can't kill them in the end. So they're gonna walk away with the creep wave, and Zibbe will pull it off here. As far as being annoying, is Behemoth in trouble? No, he's gonna survive, but definitely gonna get pretty low here in the middle lane. But how is Pebbles doing here? Okay, a little bit slower of a start because of the constant pulling of Wild Soul, or Warbies, excuse me.
Yep.
But expect that to recover.
It's kind of the problem here. That's why they don't have to do anything in terms of mana. Warbies is already going to nerf the Pebbles a bit. The 250 is not where he wants to be, for sure. And he actually had to pull a wave over to the pull spot here, so Monarch is going to lose a bit of his farm in the process. And Here he goes again with the pole. So good job from Zippler so far. And Sync is getting slightly ahead in golden experience, I would say, here in the next couple of minutes. I'll predict that.
You see Warby sending his Hellhounds back over and gonna, again, kind of harass Pebbles. Some of Pebbles with that low armor, so Warby's could definitely do some decent damage to him. He's in this laning phase and in a 1v1, so need to keep an eye on Probuskin. His success here as a Luna. Uh-oh, she's fissure blocked up here in the middle lane. Parasite coming over. You see the slow applied from Monarch. At least that's the idea there with that Noxious Nightcrawler. Puppet Master doing all that he can, but it's not going to be enough. Bunny Lover gets credit for the Bloodlust kill. I mean, Puppet, yeah, it's not really much more he could have done there. That fissure block just ultimately setting up that kill, though.
Yeah, well played and really good rotation. With already level 4 Parasite running in with Wild Hunter, I think it was. So it's a good kill. And, I didn't expect that. You don't expect a Behemoth Monarch to be able to kill, but Serenia was caught out there in a bad position and they capitalized, so well played.
It's interesting seeing the Bloodlust kill in favor of the Legion team, yet you look at the gold per minute chart right now, and it's actually still very good for Sync. I mean, obviously Kraken's having a fantastic time up there at the top lane. And then even Puppet, middle lane, sure, his teammate dies in the support of Luna, but he's been lasting very well himself. So, you know, the big picture, not the biggest of deals for Sync, it seems like. Just that's good that Mint got it, though, still, of course. But, yeah, I think, that, again, the biggest, really the shining thing here for Mint, or the lack thereof, is the Pebbles bottom lane. He is struggling to get, like, you figure, obviously, it's been somewhat free farm, but, again, that's Warby, so how annoying he really can be. He pulls it off.
The bottom line is Sync has 4 heroes farming, and what's called Fresh only has 3 heroes at the moment. Behemoth is getting what he can in the mid lane with Monarch here, but they're not getting any creeps and golds. But that's kind of the issue for them so far.
You see Puppet Master is kind of holding his ground in the middle lane once again, and about 320 gold per minute. That Warbeast, speaking of him, not only is he being great at the bottom lane, harassing and pulling, but obviously the battle cry also effective. He's in trouble here, though. There's a combo, and now Parasite assisting. No chance for Warbeast to get away. He was not level 6, so did not have Metamorphosis, and easy chase is successful. So, after all the praise there of Zibbe, they fortunately do catch him.
That's really bad for him. Look at the Stobble wave down up here. That's unfortunate. He's going to lose most of that. He might be up for the last half of it, but it's not what he wants. Top Madman.
Madman's going to be fine there, stalking through. But yeah, so Zibbe obviously kept in check there. But now, I think even more importantly, there was no doubt the Pebbles. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, now he's doing all right. 345 gold per minute here for him. Now, I think you could argue that this may keep him away from what maybe the intended plan initially would have been the Alchemist Bones, but you know, with them kind of being a little bit behind here, do you still think Alch Bones could work if you're Pebbles, or is this slower start going to refrain from doing that?
I think as you see your towers crumbling here, and if they lose the top tower, you need the ball key, because you can't also give up the tier 1 mid here without any response. Pebbles just farming bottom. It's going to be too much to come back from, I think. So this is a big hole, so I would like to see the ball key as soon as possible in this game, because Sync can be so active as they can here with the Ophelia.
By the way, on that, Zibbe again. He goes down. He was level 6. He actually used the Metamorphosis, but the lockdown just too much. And gets another kill. So now Pebbles 1,400 gold saved up. I mean, well, we'll see. We'll see what Probust does decide to do here. The secondary tower top is eventually held off here by Madman and just the creep wave. Obviously, still very early on in the game. But, yeah, going to be curious again, as you're pointing out. You feel like the portal key, but
he might right-click the Ultimate Bones here. We'll have to see.
It's Probust, man. I think it's going to be Alch Bones. He loves to farm.
I think so too, but being so close to the portal key and the Puppet Master farming the mid lane, I mean, it's tempting to go for the portal key and just buy a Veiled Rod and go kill him.
Oh yeah. That's where play styles can definitely vary there for sure. As top lane, no, he's fine. Oh yeah, but I wanted to bring up Ophelia real quickly. So he is kind of living in his old ways here, you know.
Yeah.
Gets the second point in that judgment, so staying away from the Nature's Wrath so far. Kind of interesting to note, but it's, I wonder if that's one of those things. Maybe he's gonna test over a little bit more time here, or if he's
I think he's honestly just forgetting. He's so used to
okay.
this that he's just leveling up whenever he levels up. I think he's not thinking too much about it. But
Yeah.
I think you have to get one level of Q. But of course, he hasn't been ganking much, so
True.
Might not be that important. I mean, plus 75 damage is not that much, honestly. So
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That is an interesting way to look at it. If you're not really being very aggressive at ganks early on, then is it that necessary? But still, yeah, I think it's definitely worth a discussion, no doubt. Top lane, this tower's gonna fall. It's Mad making nice attempt there from a different guy, but just a little too early, and he will unsuccessfully not be able to deny the tower. Point is, nice push there from Sync. And their gold increasing a bit more. But Pebbles, he is going the portal key first, it does look like. So he's surprising both of us, perhaps. Being just not that this is the bad decision, but being the player that he is. But he is going to get that portal key now. Will he be able to make a play with it is kind of the question, of course, next in line.
Behemoth Fish is mid and onto the puppet, and then he combos. That's what they have to do. The problem is, can he get to the mid lane without Zipper saying, Pebbles is missing, he might have his portal key right now. Be careful.
Yeah.
So that's the issue.
Yeah. Oh, God, I had to be close to being seen, but goes to the river here.
It's kind of taking a risky path here, but there's no voice from Sync, so it could work.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's definitely hoping that they just happen to not have vision here, which he happens to be right with, so... Yeah, Behemoth running up. Pebbles going to try to go first. He does catch Puppet Master, but will this actually work? Oh, look at that. The poor man's portal key into the shockwave. And down goes Puppet in the miss. Charge from Kraken. Mickey has his own portal key. Unfortunately, he whiffs the charge. And everyone's going to get away from it. Oh, man, they dove deep there, and they still all managed to get away. That's
also well played, and also really lucky that Sync could not respond in time. But that's what they needed, honestly. So... Good execution. And Pebbles is 400 GPM, and they can actually defend the T1 mid now because he has the portal key. If Sync was able to take this, if he had bought the Ultimate Spells, and Puppet wouldn't have died here, that's a huge swing for them and would be maybe a 3,000 gold experience lead. Instead, it's kind of even now.
It's funny how Kraken makes the best players look silly at times. This hero is like something with that charge, man. It's just so difficult to land for players, and we saw a missed opportunity there, no doubt, from Mickey. What you figure should have been able to hit, but just with the angle and maybe went a little too far, perhaps. But missing that, and this middle tower push. I mean, they're trying. Obviously, again, you see all the glowing red hands here. It's a level 2 battlecry, but still plenty of assisted damage. Will they continue for this? It seems like it.
I think so. The Behemoth ultimate is down. They don't have too much damage. Monarch doesn't provide that much damage. Parasite is only level 7, so he hasn't maxed out the Leech either, so or has a puzzle box. So they don't have too much damage on the Legion side, and Ophelia has ulti, so they should be able to.
Cool, bro.
Oh, nice deny from Parasite, and you see Sync's like, well, how dare you? But they really can't catch them. So successful defensive hold there from Mint, you could argue, and now Pebbles headed towards the bottom lane, back to farm.
Yeah, they got the best of the situation. Unfortunately, it does open up the mid lane for Sync to run into their jungle here and apply pressure. And we might see them do that, and it's going to free up some space for Warp Beast too, being able to do this. They actually deny the bottom tier. I mean, it's really good that they have so many denies here. They almost got the top deny too, so at least they have that, but they're losing map control. And that's the unfortunate part of it.
Yeah. We got Behemoth again picking up any bit of farm he can get now in that middle lane, and obviously a portal key on his mind here for Slaske, but still a ways off there. You got 1,700 gold on Parasite as well, and I was going to say, is he actually going for a puzzle box or something else? But he does buy the Luminous Prism there, so we are going to be seeing that puzzle box coming out as the idea here for him. Kraken middle, almost setting up like he was looking to go there, but just deciding to get some last hits in. As far as some creep farm goes. So Ophelia doesn't even maxing out the judgment here, so will get the Nature's Wrath, of course, at level 10, but again, kind of just sticking to the old school way. But it wasn't even that. I mean, she also got buffed, of course, in her command ability. Now the move speed of the minions a little bit faster at each level. And then even the ultimate. And I will say, I thought it was even more stronger when I initially read it. I thought it was just a aura that he had as a result of the ultimate that just healed the creeps, and I was like, are you kidding me? But it's for when you heal, it applies a heal over time for like 6 seconds or something like that, which is kind of clever, or 10 seconds even. But it's still strong. Not as strong
It's
as I thought, though.
plus 50, plus 100, and plus 150 over 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Depending on level 6, 11, or 16, of course. But it's not that much. It's still something, I guess. So small buffs are all adding up for sure.
Yep, on a hero that's already one of the most dominant on the competitive scene in the right hand. So,
Mika.
Yeah, that was scary. Well, Pebbles, is he going? Yeah, he is definitely going. Can he successfully do this? The heal comes out, the charge away, the release of crowd. Oh, what was that? Okay, I guess the Chrysalis caught, or not the Chrysalis, the crippling pollen.
Oh, that was gnarly.
And he goes down. So that's a great find on the Mickey.
Yep,
Mint team.
definitely is. It's a pretty good pick. I mean, if they can keep getting these pickups, at least one hero every 2-3 minutes, they can definitely stay in this and come out pretty strong. Madman is starting to pick up his farm, almost reaching 300 now. So it's pretty good for them.
Yeah, that is kind of funky to me how it feels like that. Hell, they're up 5-0 as actually, might have spoke too soon. Madman hit the top lane. He's in a lot of trouble. Oh my gosh, he might somehow be able to get away though. They don't have a stop.
No dust.
He's good. Wow. Yep. So it remains 5-0 in favor of Mint, but look at the goal though. It's a 3,500 goal lead for Sync at the same time. So despite hero kill wise the success for Fresh, it's not necessarily showing on that end, unfortunately. Yep. So goes back to Sync just farming across the board here. Well,
definitely. I think it's also kind of that behemoth factor. It just loses the lane and doesn't farm that much, but it's still very effective. So even though they're kind of ahead on Sync's side, it's not as bad as it looks because they have this behemoth hero on their team. They actually pick up Haxorn again here, so that's pretty good. The unfortunate thing is that Progress has kind of stopped farming because he's looking for all these kills. It's working for sure, but it's not like Madman has been snowballing from the get-go. They don't have that one player with a lot of farm. That's the only thing you can kind of criticize with this.
Now this is interesting because, yep, Kraken's going to live. I was caught that really on the whole thing, and that was a beautiful shockwave from Behemoth. Actually, there was like 10 creeps around or so, it felt like, so it did a lot of damage initially, but just not enough. The Mystic Vestment's kind of making it a little more tankier, and obviously we saw the follow-up from Monarch, but just not enough damage to kill him, and he was able to charge away and survive there, so get away on his part. But, yeah, that does lead back the good point about Madman's going to be their carry, of course, that develops and becomes a threat. But yeah, he has recovered 300 gold per minute and does have a Mighty Blade now. Big Shrunken Head is probably the safe bet here for Madman, of course.
Yeah, I think so. It could be a staff, but I think just not dying is probably better. I don't.
Yeah, we've had that argument before, that discussion there. It's just, I remember when that first happened, and then people were like so in love with that idea that I don't actually die when I die. It's like it's fun, but is it really worth to get first item? Like it seems silly. It did, but
I mean, if you have the deadlift, there's definitely an option, right?
Oh yeah,
there's no deadlift this game, so
yep.
Probably Shrunken Head and then into some damage item. He could also just sit on the Mighty Blade to get that extra boost in HP and survive any kind of puppet master ganks. And then look for a damage item now.
But man, 17 minutes in, and Sync Esports still without a hero kill. Well, surprising, definitely, but again, they do have a pretty greedy lineup with that said. More of this kind of spread out style and get farm in places. The Assassin trying to Puppet Master could change that idea. He ports middle lane and continues his farm for now, but again, with it, Assassin Shroud has that capability, now being able to go in and pick somebody off. Zibbe, you're right there. He does go with the Zibbe way and gets those out bones here.
Yep, alright. Well, it's not bad because Parasite does have the puzzle, but at the same time, you are going to eat that damage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I think it's okay, honestly. You're a strength hero. It's not as important. It's not like you're the support or something, or any kind of intelligence hero going for it. So it's not that bad. It's actually quite okay, I think.
Not necessarily relying on him to be this hard carry either. Of course, Puppet Master doing plenty of that, or the potential's definitely there. So they're just fine in that aspect. You see Zibbe, oh, that's an illusion. Never mind. I was like, what is he doing all the way up here? But never mind. The real one's over here near his own Ancients. And going to push out the bottom lane now a little bit. Oh, double damage Kraken. Ports in with a Veiled Rot down here. Wonder, well, there's no, okay, Parasite is here. He has the Alk Bones, he's charging in. Look at Parasite, though, he just knows. He's like, yeah, that's pretty obvious something's up.
Yeah.
He's going to run away. Oh. No, he's
down there. I think Kraken can actually one-shot the catapult with an auto attack with that DD.
True.
And it has to be close. So if you could scout that out.
Uh-oh. This just got more interesting. In fact, Warbeast is going to be the one jump first. There's Ophelia's touch. Parasite comes out, but a big shockwave from Behemoth to finish him off. And now Kraken, the one, is going to, well, still hold his ground and maybe go for a turn kill on a Behemoth right here. Has a Luna to back him up. Not going to happen, though. Behemoth ports out. Parasite waddles away in the creep of his. So ends up being just the one kill. As nope, never mind. Finally, a kill for Sync Esports. Happens to go on to Monarch there, catching him, attempting to flee. So they get on the scoreboard in that sense, but a 1-for-1 exchange right there in favor of Mint. However, again, the goal lead still remains for Sync, and they're going to deny this bottom tower even. Just top it all off, so still success for them.
Some good counter initiation from Mick. At the same time, good patience from Slaska, even waiting for any kind of backup and then going in onto the two heroes. So yeah, the Sync does get one kill, but definitely not the kill they wanted for sure. And, yeah, it's pretty even game. Even I think Mint is feeling kind of on top on this, but still very even for sure.
You got Madman heading back towards the top lane now. Going to pick up farm up there. Done a 2,200 gold saved up. So thinking it's a shrunken ad. Of course, needs that 2,900 gold mark when he's able to purchase that. Mighty Blade just purchased by Pebbles as well. Also coming out right here. Again, his GPM definitely has dropped. You pointed that out earlier. It's not like that's because he's been unsuccessful necessarily. I mean, he's 2-0-4, which is very respectable considering, you know, how the game's been going and the stat line and everything, but has tapered off a little bit in that gold farm, unfortunately, as a result here.
I think it's okay if he starts farming, because they're not emptying their jungle. I understand that he wants to have full mana for a combo at all times, but I think it's important because Sync is just farming. They've shown that they just split push and farm their items, and then they feel they can come ahead. So if they do that, it's okay that you don't have full mana all the time, only when you feel like you can go for a play. They're probably not going to make a play on you. So far, they've only made plays in response.
Yeah. Kraken, he's going to make a play right here, but Madman, again, a little too quick with that stock, and as a result, the jump unsuccessful there. So Ophelia nearby. He's got a Luminous Prism here, so probably going to be working on a Sheep Stick even. Yeah, he's kind of quietly been doing his thing, hasn't he? He's lapped here 343 gold per minute. It's been upwards of around there for a while now, so very successful there.
I think he might be going for Storm Spirit, or unless he's thinking really late game, he might be going for the Sheep Stick, of course. But I'm not sure Storm Spirit is too good this game, because he might not get into a position where he can use that to full effectiveness right away. Usually you want to use it in between stuns, or after something like an Andro stun, Hammerstorm stun, any kind of that. But Pebbles already combos you, and the same with Behe. So after they use the stuff, it doesn't really matter too much that you can Storm Spirit. Of course it delays it, but the damage has already been dealt. So might not be the best, but maybe it's a Sheep thing.
Behemoth definitely feels like he's trying to bait out a little bit down here. That's for good reason, but you look at the Hellhounds, they kind of got information, so not going to be happening necessarily. In fact, over here, Aluna gets picked up by Probus, but at what cost now? Puppet Master here with Warbeast. Is it enough for the kill? It's not just yet. In comes a Shockwave from Behemoth. Nice fissure block as well. Warbeast, and chucks him away, and he has to down the cliff. He's going to be fine. He does lose his partner in Behemoth, but a great escape nonetheless, no doubt, from Probus right there. Just everything kind of worked out in his favor.
Had Behemoth not fissured down there, he would not have been able to S2 down. So, yeah. Worked out, I guess. It's a 1-for-1, but Behemoth did use his ultimate. Not a worthy trade, but I can understand he went for that with the haste rune thinking it was fine, but unfortunately Puppet Haxrun was on there, or on point there.
Yeah. He happened to be right next to them, and again, ends up getting that kill onto, or Mickey more so got it, but of course, therefore the assist. So, the middle lane, Kraken, speaking of Mickey, he will go down right there. Got us release the Kraken right off, but no attempt or no really chance for a turn kill right there. This middle tower now, it's going to fall. Ooh, nice job. Well, nice attempt more so from Zlap, trying to deny it with the Skeleton Kings, but coming up short. And different guy with the tower kill. 365 gold per minute now, so Madman really is starting to progress. And this is without a farming tool either, so he's definitely doing very well here. that gold farm.
Yeah. 0-3 could be a bit better if he managed to get a last hit on those kills, but it's looking pretty good. He has a shrunken head, and he can look towards the damage item now and be more of a threat.
What are we thinking? Brutalizer?
It's definitely an option. It could be, actually. Yeah, it's not too bad, but at the same time, I mean, he needs those heavy items to carry this against War Beast and pop it. But it's so far away. How are you gonna deal damage in fights if you try and get the wing bow right now or something like that? So, maybe Basher into something like a wing bow or even a Savage Mace or something like that. Rift Shards.
Well, options are open here for different guy, and again, the way he's farming. Gonna see some progress here shortly. 1740 gold more saved up. Farming out some of the Hellborn jungle here. Storm Spirit is finished on Ophelia, so you're right there. That he does go that option. We're talking about you don't necessarily know if it's that worth this game, but gets it nonetheless here. A good stopper for if Pebbles jumps in. You know, Parasite the big burst attempt at least.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Ophelia plus Storm Spirit is always a powerful combination. I'm just not sure if it's the best one this game.
Yeah.
You know, point back with that, and especially if the target that you point back has a post haste to come back right back in after he's almost died. That's pretty powerful. So, yeah.
Top lane, it seems like Mint wants to make a play up here. He got the Noxious Nightcrawler, of course, of Monarch. Oh, look at this, running into this, the sync players as they go uphill. The Stalagmites coming out. Storm Spirit already used. Pebbles or actually that was Behemoth with a Shockwave, of course, and cleans them up. Double tap for Sasuke, actually. So
Well played.
Yeah, that with the Ophelia creeps nearby. They didn't stand a chance.
This is the power of Monarch, too. I mean, look at this entire sync jungle here. The voids everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to not stepping into something there. I mean, Serenity have countered the obvious void here, but he's done a good job of putting the Nightcrawler wards on the obvious spots. And you can just keep doing that because it forces your opponent to keep denying them. And even if they do, it's not like you're losing vision. You still have your normal wards to put in sneaky places. And I mean, they have so much vision right now, man. This is really the power of Monarch here.
Yep.
I mean, on top of that, Behemoth did a ton of damage there with all the creeps and 2 heroes. I mean, he really finished them off there, but it's because of the Monarch that they can set this up.
Between that and the Chrysalis, no doubt, there's really no surprise as to why we're all of a sudden kind of seeing Monarch take off here as a support option on the competitive scene. Again, she's kind of had these abilities now for a little bit here, but you know sometimes it takes a little time here for players to get practice with it, figure it out, and sure enough, though, that's been figured out, no doubt. That Monarch is really strong, as pointed out in a couple ways. So, Madman, by the way, the one to get the token alive. He actually goes to Firebrand here, so keeping it pretty safe as far as some progression goes. Now, again, this is where it's interesting to me because, you know, things like these triple stack Ancients. If he had a Rune Cleaver, they'd be dead and he'd be moving on, good to go. So, obviously, it's understandable he doesn't have that item, but, you know, this is where not having that item because he was more of that long lane Madman instead, it definitely can hurt him even later on in the game. You kind of get what I'm saying there, where it's not just that early game tool, for obviously. Sure. So
I get what you're saying for sure, but it's also like you can't really buy it now because it's a lot of gold, and then it's not going to be effective quick enough here. Oh, Parasite top.
Is that enough? God, he's pretty tanky actually. Yeah, he's going to take over the Mauler, and all of a sudden a turn kill chance. How is that Shockwave back up? It feels like he just used it. Behemoth goes in. God, that must have just came off cooldown there, and another couple of kills for Mitt.
Huge. That's so huge for them. And, I think the puppet show might have cancelled, or Whiplash might have killed the thing that he was puppet showing too, because he was able to use the puzzle and then jump into them. It simply took too long, or that must have didn't work as intended for sure for Haxon there. So unfortunate, but good response from Fresh and Ophelia top as well.
She's in trouble. Is it enough? Pebbles, he's coming in. There's Behemoth. He's like, I'll stop her. It's a nice Star Spirit. Not really. Just going to delay a couple more seconds to of the kill actually happening. So Manny, look at just the hero kills alone. Again, 14-2 hero kill lead from Min. You look at that. It's just absolute domination here, really, from. And now the big picture, not necessarily, but still, they're winning this by quite a bit here.
Definitely. This is looking really good for them, and they are pushing mid as well as top now, tier 2. It was looking so good for Sync early, but they've just been taking good ganks and good kills here everywhere, and looking strong. Now 14,000 experience. That's a lot, especially when you're behind and you see two heroes level 17 like that. You know you're behind, even though it's not that much gold. But they do pick up 2 towers now and actually double that gold lead.
Yeah. Helping out even more, so it's obviously still not over by any means. Only 20.5 minutes in, but the lead is definitely feeling very good for Fresh. And the token alive, 2 minutes more remaining for Madman right here, so still has plenty of time. And okay, I was gonna say he is healing right here, and yeah, they got the Abyssal Skull on Parasite, who's sitting nearby. So nice little effect to have, of course, especially for this lineup. It's a 4 melee lineup, so Abyssal Skull, very good choice to have somewhere on the team. And I don't know if it's going to be an actual tower kill in the end. You see Parasite, even in the Hell Canyon, knows he has to be a little careful because of that War Beast there. And will fall back in the end. So I'm not going to be able to siege base just yet, but definitely putting the pressure on to eventually get to that point here. So yeah, Puppet Master is kind of the mark here for Sync, really, where need him to definitely kind of open up a little bit. I mean, 1-3-1. That's not obviously he's been involved in just the 2 kills that have happened this game, but ideally you like Puppet Master to be getting those kills quite often.
Yeah, he was the victim of the portal key when Probus got it in the beginning, and then they missed the kill top, and he's died once. Can't remember the second death, but it's definitely not the start he has been looking for, and not the start he's used to for sure.
Huh. Different guy. He goes the Firebrand first, then he actually does build a Brutalizer right here, so maybe a change of heart or just because of how the game progressed here, but kind of changing it up a little bit. Firebrand is just a good item, too, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. Curious if they want to go in here and just suicide the Madman, basically. Try and bait out a huge behemoth shockwave. But,
yep.
Looks like something's up happening.
That's definitely the plan. Well, Pebbles is like, screwed, I'm just going in. They jump Ophelia, and Ophelia is going to die pretty quickly. Now, Kraken does catch Behemoth in the background, so no Shockwave going to be happening. And now, Mint pretty vulnerable, actually. Pebbles trying to run away. Madman's sitting on a target in the back, though. Gets Warbeast killed. Ophelia and Aluna dead as well. Puppet Master goes down. Kraken finally able to finish off Pebbles, but it just won't matter. He goes down as well, and they just clean them up. Pebbles, the only one dead so far. Obviously, Behemoth, he bought back. But anyways, that is actually going to do it. Sync throws in the towel. GG, well played. Fresh will take game number 1 here over Sync Esports in this best-of-3 series. I mean, really, they just dominated.
Yeah, they did. That was quite impressive. I mean, they were not as far ahead as they were, or as it seemed like they were, I think, to Sync, because I think they felt like they were a lot more behind than they actually were. And you definitely get frustrated when you get killed so many times without getting anything in return. Then you rotate all players after you try and gank, and then all you get is a mana kill down the bottom lane. Stuff like that is definitely annoying and can be frustrating to play with. And yeah, I mean, well played from Sync there, or from Mint. It was pretty amazing. Also, Probusk not just farming, actually trusting his team here to carry him, and then just being the initiator. And also beautiful to see. They can actually swap it up and make a game plan like this.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. It's obviously nothing against Fresh or Probusk. I mean, it's just that's like what we expect almost, especially with this team, and they've done it so often and have been successful with it. But as you were saying, I mean, it is great to see that idea that, you know, they don't need Probusk to get a farming item on a just farm-heavy carry early on in the game and, you know, be able to take it over. He played a Pebbles short lane. He got the portal key first. He started moving 4-1-10 to finish.